the knowledge and information economy. We are doing so in the comfortable knowledge that we are united with our brothers and sisters because the alliances that were formed in the trenches have blossomed into meaningful friendship with our partner countries. Recently, we partnered with the continent to deliver the best soccer World Cup ever in the history of FIFA. Last year, the world gathered in Durban for the climate talks under the guise of the 17th Conference of the Parties. These days, African leaders are tirelessly pulling our people out of obscurity all across the continent. Roads, dams, clinics, and schools are some of the developmental infrastructure programs that the African leaders are putting in place. Information and communication technologies has to be at the center of this African Union pushed infrastructure development plan. ICT is the infrastructure that improves quality and widens the variety of services offered by each of those major infrastructure programs. By rolling out broadband to health facilities, we can connect remote clinics to health professionals who may be based in other parts of the world. I know that the E-Africa Network initiative, sponsored by the government of India and is aimed at achieving this goal. In Senegal and elsewhere, the network delivers e-health services and teleteaching to many Africans in their countries. Governments can also use technology to improve the quality of their healthcare services they offer to their people. They can do so by providing health professionals with the technology they can use to monitor the patient's trends and make better informed medical interventions. Clinics that are connected to the internet can also act as community internet cafes that connect our people in remote areas to the knowledge and information superhighway. These can empower small businesses in those areas to grow much faster than they would without internet access, because they would be able to market their services or advertise their businesses to wider audiences. A similar quantum leap in development can be achieved by connecting schools. Internet connectivity can improve the quality of education that governments can deliver to their people. A crucial element of delivering e-learning has to be the introduction of an interactive element. Learners have to interact with the content they are being taught, because this is the only way to ignite innovation. Clearly, ICT infrastructure yields a greater developmental dividend from the investment made by our governments for our citizens. Connecting Africa. Honorable Ministers, Deputy Ministers, and distinguished guests, this realization gained prominence in 2007 when the United Nations International Telecommunications Union and African leaders launched the Connect Africa goals, which our Secretary General is very passionate about, to help fast-track the attainment of the Millennium Development Goals. Let me hasten to add that all these goals are aligned to our government's key priorities in South Africa of fighting crime and corruption, improving the quality of health and education, rural development, and creating sustainable jobs. Through various regional ICT agreements on the continent, we are on course to overcoming the challenges of connecting all the African cities, towns, and villages. South Africa is an active participant in the Communications Regulatory Association of Southern Africa and the African Union Conference of Ministers responsible for communications and information technology. These agreements have created public-private partnerships that are designed to harmonize the regulatory and legislative environment in the continent to position it to fight cybercrime and to foster socio-economic advancement and development. These efforts have resulted in the partnerships between the public and private sector that have delivered undersea cables. Africa is now connected to Europe, North America, and Asia through 9 undersea cables. The West Africa Cable System, launched in May 2012, represents the first connection to an undersea cable for Namibia, Togo, Congo, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. There are 5 more undersea cables that are planned for the continent by 2014. One of those will connect Africa to our BRIC partner countries, which is Brazil, Russia, India, and China. The recent demise of the theology of market fundamentalism is making the continent to shift from bipolarity to multipolarity in international alignment in its search for an alternative, transformative, and developmental economic model that will advance sustainable progress in Africa. All of these cable connections should help improve the connection to our new trade partners, reduce the cost to communicate, and improve the quality of the internet services. They also make it possible to deliver more progressive online services. Deliberations in this conference have to play or to lay the foundation for the harmonization of continental policies such that these cable connections can create thousands of jobs, and should I say sustainable jobs, and enable millions of people across the continent to communicate at cheaper rates. Working together, we can place the citizens of the developing nations at the center of the knowledge and digital economy superhighway. I want to quote one of the best-selling authors of social nomics in his book, Digital Leader, and I quote, "Digital footprints are what we post about ourselves. Digital shadows are what others upload about us. Collectively, they have changed the world forever. As leaders and future leaders, we need to adapt to this new world." I close quote. Maybe I should be asking, who said these words? While you're still thinking, this inaugural ICT Indaba brings all these worldwide industry leaders together. And by the way, the writer is Eric Qualman. Your Excellencies, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, distinguished guests, the objectives of the ICT Indaba are anchored in the fundamental view that, like other infrastructure programs, such as energy and transport, or as the DSG has said, water and electricity, ICT can contribute significantly to the continent's development. However, to reap the benefits of the technology evolution for the benefit of our people, our government needs to coordinate efforts in the region to achieve improved development. Central to this coordination will be the creation of partnerships with the private sectors and labor organizations and civil organizations to find solutions to our most pressing questions of inequality, poverty, unemployment, and underdevelopment in the continent. It is for this reason that as a government we took a decision to create this multi-stakeholder platform of engagement, the International ICT Indaba, so that as equal partners we can tackle these challenges. We are considering the possibility of coming up with an ICT Indaba declaration, which will be the final product that gives direction on what leaders in government, business, labor, and individuals can do to accelerate our discourse for ICT for development. Why host the ICT Indaba. Your Excellencies, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, the ICT Indaba is hosted by the South African government, as you know, however, in partnership with the ITU, and is sponsored by the world-leading companies such as MTN, Vodacom, Telkom, the South African Broadcasting Corporation, MultiChoice, and others. With her population of 1 billion people, Africa has the market to become a global leader in the diffusion of ICTs for its development. The Indaba, hosted in the beautiful city of Cape Town, will contribute significantly in the building of human capital and nurturing innovation for the knowledge-based economy in South Africa and the rest of the continent. During this important Youth Month in South Africa, which is June, we have invited young people to the Indaba. We shall grant the youth, particularly school-going pupils, free access to the exhibition on the 7th of June 2012, which is going to be on Thursday. Among us here, by the way, are 2 young people who are at the forefront of delivering solutions to our everyday lives, and I hope they are here. Rapelang Khabane, if you are around here, please stand up. Thank you. She is one of the founders of Yego Communications, a company that is among the pioneers that delivered voice over internet protocol services over mobile phones. The service allows internet-enabled mobile device users to make cheaper phone calls through the internet instead of the traditional voice calls. I believe we also have another young man here, 20-year-old Michael Roger. Are you here? If you are here, please stand up. Thank you very much, Michael. Michael has been fixing computers since he was 15. Michael is now putting the final touches to an electronic board that can help teach people the basics of computer programming. I think they deserve even more of a big hand. This board that Michael is working on will be used to teach high school learners and older people who are studying through the adult basic education and training program. The presence of these 2 and the other young people who are here today that we are hosting at this conference is the result of our interpretation of the successful elements that lead to a successful ICT ecosystem. And we believe that many other young people can be like Rapelang and Michael. They can innovate, and that we can assist them, both as government and the private sector. The uninhibited spirit of youth needs the steady hand of older people who have solved complex problems before. They also need financiers who can see the value of intellectual property, and of course, regulators who can create an environment that allows those ideas to flourish. South Africa's IT sector is a leader in the field of electronic banking services, prepayment, revenue management, and fraud prevention systems, and in the manufacture of set-top boxes. All of these technologies are successfully exported to Africa and the rest of the world. The local manufacturing of the set-top boxes as part of the rollout of digital terrestrial television will enhance this leadership position through the greater investment in innovation. We expect that this strategy will result in the creation of many jobs across the continent as factories go up to manufacture these boxes. Research by Worldwide Works shows that the internet directly contributes around 2% to the South African economic output. This is in addition to the significant contribution ICTs make in enabling all other economic sectors to be more efficient and profitable. Discussions in this August gathering must shape the framework for using technology in order to achieve socio-economic development and create sustainable jobs. Like many other countries, we have taken a decision to review and overhaul our ICT policies. We want the policies to deliver our progressive goals of achieving universal access to broadband much faster. To this end, we have invited nominees to serve on the ICT Policy Panel of Experts, a group that will work with the department to provide for policy recommendations. Worldwide Works has also reported that over 6 million South Africans have access to internet. This represents significant progress. In 2010, the broadband subscriber base increased in the country by 50%. Much of this growth can be attributed to an impressive increase in the number of mobile broadband customers using smartphones. And thanks to MTN, Vodacom, Cell C, and Telkom. Mobile broadband grew by 31% in 2011 to reach 4.2 million people in the country. We are, however, concerned that the broadband prices remain very high based on the purchasing power parity in comparison with some OECD countries, such as Mexico, Chile, and Hungary. We are taking steps to address this challenge by introducing more competition in the data market. Through the licensing process, which we have embarked upon, we can expect to identify capable internet service providers, in short ISPs, who will make use of the radio frequency spectrum to push the prices lower. These ISPs, big and small, are also expected to offer affordable broadband services to poor South Africans and the people living in rural areas in particular, because that's where I come from. We shall conduct studies to explore and determine the needs for services within the 700 megahertz and 800 megahertz frequency band, as resolved by the ITU World Radio Communications Conference, RWC 12. This will help us to decide on the best policy options in both broadcasting and mobile technologies for the achievement of universal access and the goals of our developmental state. We continue to monitor progress in the pay TV market to ensure that competition and diverse broadcasting services are accessible to all South Africans. We expect that this Indaba will help us design a broadcasting environment that will assist in the universal access to broadcasting services in Africa and the creation of jobs in manufacturing and content development areas, as I said before. Honorable Ministers and distinguished guests, as I conclude, I want to thank you very much for investing your time, money, and input in this first ICT Indaba, which is the first of its kind for Africa in Africa. We look forward to progressive and fruitful discussions and information sharing sessions over the next 4 days. With these few words, I would like, on behalf of the people of the Republic of South Africa, welcome you once more to South Africa and say that please enjoy the conference and our beautiful country. I thank you very much.
Well, that was the Minister of Communications of South Africa officially opening this ICT Indaba here in Cape Town at the International Convention Center. We will, of course, be bringing you more of this Indaba. Our midday bulletins will be crossing here. Morning Live, our sister show, will also be here. And of course, we will also be bringing you a special broadcast again tomorrow afternoon. So for now, we are indeed saying from the ICC here in Cape Town, have a very good day. We'll see you again tomorrow.